Next up, Charlie Good. I've had the pleasure of knowing Charlie for a few years, but only recently have become close. And in that time, I have found out that he is one of the kindest and funniest people I know. If you haven't gotten the chance to talk with Charlie, I highly suggest doing so. Also, he's an absolute boss at Ultimate. So, Charlie, you're gonna kill it, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Hey guys. Maddie, thank you. Gilbert, man, you crushed it. I want to start my speech with a short story I recently heard. Written by David Wallace, it goes something like this. The scene is set in the expansive void of the deep blue sea. 3 fish are swimming along, 2 young fish in one direction, and an older one swimming in the opposite. Eventually, they intersect and pass each other. It is then that the older fish calls out, "Morning, boys. How's the water where you're coming from?" One answers, "Oh, it's just all right." But the other responds with this confused look on his face, "What the hell is water?" Now, I know it's silly to imagine a fish who doesn't know what water is, as it's the thing they need to stay alive. But that's the whole point of the story. Sometimes, the most obvious, most important realities or parts of our lives are the ones that are most ignored. So that begs the question, what about humans? What's our most important life force, and do we ignore it? There's an argument to be made for anything, but I believe it comes down to 3 parts of everyone in this room's life. It makes them, them. And I'd like to share that with you. The first is something you believe in. Now, my faith is a huge part of my life. Sunday mornings, I'm out at church. Sunday evenings, I make the drive up lookout for a youth group. And every Wednesday, I'm back on lookout with the guys in my small group. The time in these communities has grown my character and appreciation for the world we live in. I wanted to keep my speech secular, but I recently heard this verse, and I must share it with you. Ecclesiastes 3:15. Whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before, and God will cause the past to account. I realize that not everybody here shares my religious views, and that's okay. But personally, I think the idea that nothing has been lost in the past or is being withheld for some future, and rather existing at this very moment, is hugely comforting. As life moves so fast, it's easy to forget this. And as I look to the next 4 years, this message anchors me amidst all the uncertainty. I carry it with me everywhere I go. The second is something that believes in you. My something is my family. These guys are just next level. They're my role models and the ones who know me best in this life. My parents, sister, grandparents, aunts and uncles and cousins, they have seen me through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the downright disgusting. No matter the circumstance, they stand by my side. They are my mentors, my closest friends, and I'm eternally grateful for the place they hold in my heart. I would not be the Charlie I am today if I didn't have these amazing people backing me up in my corner. The third is something you enjoy. All right, time to talk about Walkabout, because if we're being honest, I couldn't see myself walking off this stage if I didn't give it a shout out. It just wouldn't be me. By far, Walkabout is my favorite part of Baylor. It is an incredibly special program that has provided me with some of my favorite experiences of all time. To name a few, kayaking in India, surfing in Panama, skiing in Utah, and even more in Chattanooga's own backyard. I've learned to get comfortable in the uncomfortable, and it has grown my passion for the outdoors. More than the activities, however, are the people. To Ashley, Mr. E, Mrs. Bankston, Bet, Tim, and Timothy, I met you as teachers, now I think of you as friends. Each of you has taught me a lesson that I will take with me through all future chapters of my life. I can't thank you enough. So, to recap, something you believe in, something that believes in you, and something you just like. Now, it goes without saying that the things I mention are parts of my life. I'm not telling you to commit yourself to a religion or value some relationships more than others, or tell you to go on a walkabout trip, though I really think you should. I'm merely suggesting that you take some time to sit, think about those 3 things, and find out where they fit into your life. And then, once you've done that, I encourage you to take the next step and invest your time and energy into them. If they're really that important to you, they deserve it, and I can promise you they will pay it back in dividends. Our lives are so beautiful, and I think it would just be a shame to live like that young fish, not knowing and appreciating the most important things around it. Baylor, these last 7 years have been unbelievable. I will never forget all you've done for me, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you.